Do you remember when I made Pokemon theories that weren't about the Sinnoh region or Pokemon Legends Arceus? Me neither. Hey Pokemon Masters, Monkey Toby here, and with the surface level Pokemon theories being squeezed out of Pokemon Legends Arceus and Scarlet and Violet being months away from another trailer, I'm left going, what do I make theories about now? Luckily, I've remembered that the franchise is over 25 years old, so now is a great time to look back on the history of the franchise with fresh eyes that haven't looked at them really since Diamond and Pearl got announced, and see if there's any more theories there. If I want to continue being known as that hairy Pokemon theory guy on YouTube, then I need to crack out a copy of Pokemon Yellow, not cut my hair. And as it happens, I did and I do have a theory, but whereas with most theories I start with a question, for this one I want to start off with a story. Don't stop me because I know you haven't heard this one before. In Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow and all of the other Kanto games, Red is trying to stop Team Rocket, who are out on a mission for world conquest. Led by Giovanni, Giovanni has a plan. He wants to steal the Master Ball and the Sylph Scope and get fossils for Mount Moon. Wait, hang on, what's Giovanni's plan here? It was for the longest time theorized that Giovanni's plan was simply to recapture the most powerful Pokemon, a Pokemon created by Team Rocket, Mewtwo. And for the longest time, this was just that, a theory. It was merely subtext implied as a result of the Pokemon TV show and movie in which Giovanni was the sole person responsible for the creation of Mewtwo. He funded that experiment, creating Mewtwo from a fossil of Mew, but in the games, that stuff is only implied, with the Cinnabar Mansion referencing Mew giving birth to something new. In Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, we actually see Mewtwo's creation chamber, which looks a lot more like it does in the anime. And if you take your Mewtwo there, it'll even react very, very strangely. Mewtwo lives in the Cerulean Cave, and I've always wondered why. Why did it go to the Cerulean Cave of all places? Why not back to the lab to do exactly what it did in the Pokemon First movie? Who knows? It was all just speculation and theory until really Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon came out, confirming that this was Giovanni's plan, because in a timeline where Giovanni was successful, he got the Master Ball and used it to capture Mewtwo. And now we can look back together at those past events, the trying to steal the plans for the Master Ball, the Sylph Scope, an item that identifies ghost Pokemon, and go, oh, because he's trying to capture Mewtwo. Because the Master Ball would do that, and the Sylph Scope gets you Ghost Pokemon, which is super effective against Psychic Pokemon. Great. You already knew that part, I know, but the next part is where I still continue to be confused, because if that was Giovanni's goal, then what about the other instances where you encounter Team Rocket in the game? Not including your gym battle with Giovanni, you have 6 encounters with Team Rocket, 7 in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. I've already mentioned them going after the Master Ball, which is the Sylph-Co encounter, and the Sylph Scope, which is the encounters in both Celadon and Lavender Town's Pokemon Tower. All of these tie into the Mewtwo story nicely, but what about the other 3/4 encounters? These are Team Rocket at Mount Moon trying to obtain fossils of Kabuto and Omanyte, a Team Rocket member recruiting grunts at the end of Nugget Bridge, which by the way, that very member reappears in Sun and Moon as a veteran Dom who wonders what Giovanni is up to nowadays. A veteran who's at the end of a Nugget Bridge using the same team, it's very cool. The Team Rocket grunt also in Cerulean City who have broken into the house and stolen the Dig TM, and then finally in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, there's an additional encounter where you meet Lorelei of the Elite Four. Team Rocket ambushed you right before the Dark Cave. This group of Team Rocket grunts don't seem to be following Giovanni's orders. They actually explicitly say, oh my goodness, what if the boss found out about this? They're just trying to stop you and get you out of the way because of your successes in Celadon City. So what do these early encounters have to do with the larger story, the bigger story to do with Giovanni trying to recapture Mewtwo? Well, this is where I have a theory. A theory that I've not seen anyone else talking about. All of these early events are also tied to Mewtwo. It's just not them trying to recapture Mewtwo, because at this point in the story, Mewtwo hasn't been created yet. Think about it, all of these events, Mount Moon, the Nugget Bridge, the Dig TM, all of them are happening around Cerulean City. And where do you find Mewtwo in the post-game? Cerulean Cave. I've always wondered why Mewtwo went back to that cave, and I think I have the answer. It's because that's where Team Rocket found his fossil. Remember, Team Rocket never actually had a Mew. Based on what we see in the Pokemon First movie, they only ever had a Mew fossil from which they were able to clone and create Mewtwo. And what are Team Rocket looking for in Mount Moon? They're looking for fossils. But why in Mount Moon? Because isn't the Cerulean Cave wait, look at the map, look at the overworld of Pokemon. The Cerulean Cave is part of Mount Moon. They are digging around in Mount Moon to try and find the fossil for Mew, and while they didn't find it in the Mount Moon part that you traveled through, they did find this fossil in Cerulean Cave, which is already home to lots of powerful Pokemon. How do they access this part of Mount Moon? Given that there is a member from the Elite Four who knows that there are powerful Pokemon that live here who is wardening the whole place off, well, it's possible that these Team Rocket grunts had connections because of Giovanni being the 8th gym leader, or it's even more likely that they used the Dig TM. The Dig TM that they stole from a man in Cerulean City. They used Dig to break through Mount Moon into the Cerulean Cave to dig up the fossil of Mew. So when am I saying all this is happening? Well, this is probably happening around the time that you are picking your starter Pokemon. Before you even know how to battle Pokemon, Giovanni has found the fossil for Mew, which he then has taken to Cinnabar Island. And you might think, hang on, didn't Mewtwo destroy the Cinnabar Mansion? Isn't that why the Cinnabar Mansion's destroyed? No, I don't think so. The Cinnabar Mansion is merely abandoned. The reason you think it might have been destroyed by Mewtwo is because, again, the Pokemon First movie. But actually, we know, based on Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, that the Pokemon lab was made when Mr. Fuji, then Dr. Fuji, was a much younger man. It's likely that people had already abandoned the mansion for the new labs in Cinnabar Island long ago, and that this abandoned mansion off the mainland of Kanto was the perfect place to do research in secret on Mew. To do that research on the Mew fossil and bring about Mewtwo on February 6th. Doesn't say what year, just the same year that you are going on your journey. By the time you get to Mount Moon, Team Rocket are pulling out. They're seeing if they can extract any more data, find anything else. They find a Kabuto and an Omanyte fossil, and that makes sense because, like I said, Mount Moon and Cerulean Cave, they're part of the same mountain system. And in Let's Go, you can find fossils of Kabuto and Omanyte right there in Cerulean Cave. But this actually explains why Giovanni isn't in the gym at the beginning of the game. It's because he's off retrieving the Mew fossil and taking it to Cinnabar Island. He's got his own plot going on while you're passing through Viridian Forest and Viridian City for the first time. It's possible that by the time you reach Cerulean City, Mewtwo has returned instinctually to where its fossil was found, Cerulean Cave, as if it's got some kind of, I don't know, homing instinct. It knows that that's where it belongs, but it doesn't quite know why. It returns to the cave, and Team Rocket have a small presence in Cerulean. They already have the grunt who stole Dig right then and there, as well as a grunt on the Nugget Bridge recruiting any trainers who can make it across, because they know they're going to need powerful trainers if they are to re-enter the Cerulean Cave. Trainers who are capable of beating the Elite Four, which you are. And then in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, there's that additional encounter outside of the Dark Cave. This is because Giovanni has his hands occupied. He's trying to deal with the Silscope. He's trying to deal with the Master Ball plans. Setting up for all that stuff, a couple of rogue Team Rocket grunts are saying, hey, we gotta stop this kid before he gets out of hand, but luckily you're helped by Lorelei. Everything happens with the Silscope and Lavender Town's Pokemon Tower, and finally the Master Ball confrontation in Silphco, and you save the day and eventually are able to enter the cave by yourself with a Master Ball and capture Mewtwo in the home that it didn't know it had come from in the first place. And that is the full picture, the full story of Pokemon Red, Blue, and the other Kanto games that I feel like most people haven't even thought about. Again, it was only a couple of years ago that we had the fact that Giovanni was after Mewtwo as like a confirmed bit of Pokemon lore and not just as a piece of theory, let alone now all of these other elements of it. I do wonder if I look back at other Pokemon games, what will I find? I've been doing Pokemon theories for like 7 years. Is it going to be Barren Wasteland, or will I find more theories? I don't know. If you have any Pokemon theories that I've never covered or you think are really, really interesting, feel free to let me know in the comments, or maybe even email me to birdkeepertoby@gmail.com, which is linked in the description. I'd be fascinated to read them if you have any thoughts. Let me know what you think about this theory in the comments. Thank you all for watching, and of course, soar high, Pokemon Masters.
This is Ash Ketchum. You just watched a video by Birdkeeper Toby. That makes you a Pokemon Master.
As always, a huge thank you to those of you supporting me on Patreon, including the big patrons of this month, Jedruben and Michael Hornschuch. Thank you so much.